girl, welcome back to my channel. Dodree is back with HAWWAH. I hope I'm saying that right. You guys have to correct me if I'm wrong. I cannot wait to see what this is all going to be about. Already, just from the first image, it looks freaking beautiful. So I think this is going to be really nice. But don't forget, if you want this song or any of your favorites to end up on our Fandom Favorites Top 30 chart, check that out in the description box down below. Voting ends at the end of the day today. Let's go ahead and get right into this. Ooh. I love the color. Ooh. All the colors are so pretty. Ooh, the piano, so nice. Pretty. So pretty. Ooh. Ooh. Whoa, the strings? So pretty. Ooh. That deep bass that was there. Wow. That pull away was so pretty. Oh, that was a cool transition. Oh, no way, it's already over. No! This is so good. So incredibly good. Wow. For, like, their official comeback, of course we had Lilac, which, you know, I did listen to. I think it's really, really beautiful, but this is, you know, more of the official comeback. So beautiful. The colors themselves first are so incredibly beautiful. I love seeing everything all together. It's just one of those, like, the way that they are able to use traditional music and pop music at the same time is so incredibly interesting and fun to listen to. Really, it's just so beautiful. I'm mesmerized by what is happening in the MV with the colors and just the sound and everything. And I love how, like, traditional beauty is, you know, focused on in here. You know, the different hanboks that were, you know, put on here and everything. I really loved it. From the beginning, I loved the piano. I think that was especially such a big component here. And then you have, you know, more traditional Korean instruments, as far as, like, I'm sure the gayagum was used in here, which was, you know, it's such a prominent interesting sound. And then I have a feeling that the tungle, or like it's like that hourglass drum, was probably used in this, or maybe like a big kettle drum, or really it's like a big round drum. I'm wondering if that was used, because the drum sound was just so noticeable, especially when it was like a clicking sound. Just, it sounded so familiar to me that I'm pretty sure it's one of those bigger like Korean traditional drums. And so this is just this they never fail to impress me, really. Since they've came onto the scene, it's one of those things where it's just like, I love what they're doing. Both of them have such incredible vocals, and I love how distinctive that their vocals are, but they complement each other extremely well. So especially in this particular song, the back and forth was really pretty. I feel like for their debut song, they did a lot more singing together, whereas here it was kind of back and forth a little bit more, which is fun. You know, when you have a group that only has 2 members, it's fun how you can kind of experiment and get different sounds between them and focus on one member at certain times versus the other member and that kind of thing. And I feel like this really did that. And I love how they came together at the end again. You know, they did that in their debut song, and they did it here as well, because it just creates such a good dynamic. And I definitely loved the melodic line at the very beginning. It definitely had this like downward sort of feeling, definitely like the wrap me in your unfamiliar scent until the moon falls asleep. During that time, like during the entire process, then the strings started to come through and everything happening there. Also, one of the lyrics, I'm slowly stained. Just the increasing of the instrumental as the song went around, as well as what they were doing with their voices melodically, as far as gaining more texture, getting bigger, growing throughout everything. And then when we get into the kind of towards the end, that deep bass coming in was so unreal with that. You know, that's a little bit more of like what we would do in a pop song, right? But it really just showed off what they were doing melodically with their voices and everything in such a traditional sense. And then I love the pull away in the bridge to just the piano and the voice. That was so incredibly beautiful, with the transition with the apple, and then everything, you know, coming together at the end with the ad-libs and what they were doing together. So beautiful. Wow, wow, wow. I'm so impressed, guys. These girls are so incredibly impressive, and I hope that they get the love and the recognition that they deserve, because this is something that I hope really goes over well. I'm such a big fan of like traditional Korean music. I even, like I said, I love trot music too. Like I'm such a big fan of that, because it's just something that so resonates with me, probably because like I'm a classically trained vocalist too. So I love hearing like how different cultures do things differently in like their own traditional kind of way. And this is just it just hits me right here every single time I listen to it. And like I said, the MV was beautiful. Everything was beautiful. I just think it's so breathtaking. So tell me what you guys thought about this. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite part of the song or the music video? For me, it's when the piano came in and during that bridge was so beautiful. Just the way everything like kind of disappeared, and it was just such a pretty part. I really love that. So if you want this song or any of your favorite songs to end up on our Fandom Favorites Top 30 chart, make sure you check that out in the description box down below. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.